All right, so down here, the bottom right-hand corner of Calm Before the Storm, we have our blue Protoss player hailing from Team Liquid, and down 0-1, actually, he is Liquid HerO. His opponent, our red Zerg player here in the top left-hand corner of the map, from the team Empire, that is Violet.
Yep, Violet versus HerO. What a great match, honestly. Like, this couldn't come at a better time for both of these players, because I mean, they're both kind of doing well after after pausing the game. But yeah, I can't wait to see what they have to show us. I'm trying to read some. I don't know. I don't know.
You could say anything, and I would believe you that it was right. So
there you go.
All right, let's see here now as HerO putting up his pylon at the front. And yeah, this is a pretty good Protoss map, as you mentioned. Pretty small choke points where the AoE from Colossi and Storms and Archons, etc., can do quite a bit of damage, forces your opponent to take map control with units rather than just rely on the Xel'Naga Tower. So, and it's pretty easy for them to take 3 bases.
Yep, definitely. And a lot of Zerg players we see taking their natural expansion down at the kind of more open base, the low ground base there, rather than, or I should say the forward low ground base, because they're both low ground bases in this one, rather than taking the safer one in the back, just because then you can take that safer third, which ultimately is a little bit more important. There's not many situations in ZVP where you won't get to have a natural expansion.
And it looks like he is still going to go very safe route with Pool first. No surprise there. HerO, on the other hand, looks like he's saving up for a Nexus first.
Yep. That's right. And why not? You know, I mean, it is a big map. It's the type of map you would want to do a Nexus first on. So, yeah, sure enough, we will see a Nexus go down in 17.
Yeah.
For Liquid HerO. So not skimping on pro production either. Sometimes you see like a 15 Nexus or something like that, but HerO getting his base just a little bit later to make sure that he can constantly produce probes.
And Violet actually showing him gas right away as well.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. So Violet not going for any sort of like really fast hatch. You know, the funny thing is we even see players go hatch first in ZVZ if they put it in that that back area expansion, which I still think is a little bit dangerous, but we still do see it every once in a while. But Violet still playing safe.
Yeah, and it was interesting, though, that he did that immediately under the vision of his opponent as well. So just saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. You're going to take a look at it, and that's okay by me. So,
yep.
And it looks like that prompts HerO to actually put up a gateway and a forge at his front wall right away.
Yep. Yep, he's going to make sure to stay safe against any sort of early lings, but there's a hatchery going up now for Violet. Probe comes in to check it out again. He's going to go right down to that expansion, make sure that HerO did expand, or Violet rather did expand.
Yeah,
and he did.
Yep, is indeed going to see the backdoor expansion put in play. HerO now putting up Cybernetics Core, of course, and see if he decides to put down a Photon Cannon in this little gap here.
Yep.
When the time comes, running away with one of his probes, though.
Yeah, that second probe going out to scout after the first one went down, too. He's probably going to hide it somewhere and then move in a little bit later. See what he can see.
All right, well, he'll be making his way out in a bit. That first Photon Cannon is indeed coming down, actually placing this here so it can catch more units as they make their way towards the front door.
Yeah, also a lot less surface area for it to be attacked from, too, if Lings happen to get to the base or something like that. Yep.
And Violet's already making his way out with 4 Lings, but there's a wall up the front with this whole position Zealot, and the Photon Cannon's going to finish in plenty of time as well. Double gas up for HerO as well. We'll see what that gets expended on here in a second. For now, just a sentry.
Well, I'm really curious to see what Violet is going to do out of this. I mean, he's not going for that typical 3 hatchery build that we see a lot, and that's what the probe is checking for. He's like, all right, well, you got gas, but did you maybe take a third anyway? And the answer is no with that. So now HerO's got to be wondering right now. He's like, all right, is my opponent going to do some sort of like 2-base aggression? Or is he just playing ultra safe because of the map? I mean, HerO's got a lot of questions right now. So we're going to see him really try to get probes in there. Just kind of poke around and see what he can find out. Doesn't know about the lair, though.
No, he does not. And, you know, I'm just, with the new patch, I'm just going to assume that Protoss players are going for Fleet Beacon Phoenix range every game until it actually happens, because then I look like a genius when it really does. So.
Well, naturally, when he sees what Violet is doing, he's going to go for the Fleet Beacon.
Yes, of course.
Phoenix range, yes.
Natural transition. Natural transition.
The most normal thing in the world. Yeah.
Well, Violet sitting on these 2 bases, of course, still
Going up before gas, though.
Yes, it did. And, you know, HerO doesn't have a presence out there at the moment, so he's not going to... He can't even tell the lack of a third expansion for now.
I think we're going to see Mutalisks from Violet. I think that's what he's planning on doing. Big drone up right there, but he'll have enough to make the Spire, and he'll have plenty of gas saved up then to go for, you know, a good amount of Mutalisks early on. And what will he go for?
It's just got to get up to that 200
It's going
minerals.
to be a Hydralisk Den.
Really?
Interesting. Okay, all right, so Hydralisk Den. So we'll have to see what he has planned here. I mean, because the age of Hydra drops is relatively over, although we have seen players, including Violet actually, do Hydralisk Nidus Worm busts in the future. It's a really good way, of course, to get across a long map. You don't like Nidus right into their main or something like that, but you put a Nidus Worm down fairly... Oh, he's going to lose that Overlord. But you put a Nidus Worm down, you know, near their base, so you can get those high DPS Hydralisks there really, really quickly,
like
way before your opponent
up here, something like that.
Yeah, exactly, yep. And there's a Nidus Worm, yeah, so it will be a Nidus bust from Empire.viOLet. Oh, this game is about to get very interesting here. This is very difficult to pull off, though. This doesn't usually work in most tournament games we see.
And HerO actually feigned an expansion, takes out the Overlord, and then immediately puts down a Templar Archives. Okay, he is still going to expand. Never mind, all right. Thought he was going to feign an expansion, then just put up a bunch of Archons or something along those lines, because, you know, Archons actually do pretty well against Hydralisks, the biological units that they are, but... This is still going to be very, very cool. There's our Overseer, which could drop down a Nidus Worm.
The Hallucinated Phoenix, though, that's going into the natural of Violet right now is totally going to see this. Yep. There's the Hydralisk Den. And, yep, there's the Nidus network as well. So, HerO knows everything that's going on. This is a strategy that likes to kind of rely a lot on surprise. Even pulling those drones off, kind of expecting the Nidus Worm to start.
Yeah, so he's going to be pretty well prepared for this. He actually canceled his Nexus. He's got 2 more gates on the way, along with Blink. And we may very well see some Templar here in a second. No, actually just relying on Blink Stalkers for now. The Zealots trying to run away, but they're actually going to get caught up pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, Violet chasing the Zealots across the map with his Hydras and Lynx, just kind of moving out across the map. You know, this is the same thing that we saw Lenok do the other day when he was trying to get back into Code S, I believe it was. He tried this on Crossfire, got found out, and decided to just walk the Hydralisks across the map. And it didn't end up working out too well for him, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, he does have the Hydras to protect that Nidus Worm, which is going to be nice for him, definitely.
And Photon Cannon has already dealt out a little bit of damage. Overseer on the high ground now, so it's going to require a good Blink in a bit, but Blink is still about 60 seconds away now, 50 seconds away from being done. It is being chrono boosted, but still a good 30 seconds before it'll finish.
Yep. And he's got to be really careful with these Hydralisks. Oh, they're so expensive. You really can't afford to lose these, but now he's got a way to reinforce Hydralisks and Lings there very, very, very quickly. And HerO is going to be under a little bit of pressure here. He's got such a great defense at the wall, though. Oh, and Storm is about ready to finish up, and that Templar should have energy very soon for it.
And he's going ahead and running in a bunch of units into Violet's base. So he's got a few Zealots that are actually running over there.
Oh, the Templar! Oh, he gets it!
Oh, the lack of a Storm there, that would have just devastated a huge group of Hydralisks. Can you imagine a Storm on that right there?
Oh, that was just a game-changing move right here, because now these Hydras can walk in, do a lot of damage. He's got more Lings, more Hydras on the way, has to force field that ramp.
Yes, he does.
Violet trying to keep that Overseer alive as well. He needs that to see on the high ground. And it's close right now, but things are looking pretty good for Violet.
Yes, they are. Let's go ahead and take a look as these Zealots are starting to run through his opponent's base. He's not really paying attention to them right now. Actually, starting to bring some units back, and the Hydras will eventually deal with them. But God, Zealots are still so strong. Yep. Even tear through those Hydras if they're not running away. So, Violet going to continue to pick off ancillary structures. More gateways are coming up right now, so HerO is still trying to stabilize. Both players still sitting on 2 bases, and here come those reinforcements now for Violet.
Yeah, making some roaches as well. He needs some meaty units to push up that ramp ahead of the Hydralisks. Just going to give him a bit of a damage buffer. No, he's actually going for it. And there's not a whole lot of force fields here in this army. I mean, he's only got 4 sentries.
Yeah. Oh, watch out. He may lose a couple of those sentries
too if he's not careful.
That would be no good. A couple of Hydras trying to sneak their way up the side. We do have more High Templar now, and they are sitting on 60, 65 energy right now. So very soon they'll have a Storm. And of course, 2 Storms. That's a lot of dead Hydras.
Yeah, absolutely. Storm works so well against Hydras and Lings, and not so well against Roaches, though.
No.
We'll have to see if Violet decides to push with this.
What an interesting game, though, as Violet is finally taking his third. HerO just trying to defend as best he can. He's still sitting on 51 workers, and that is increasing. So we're at a little bit of a standstill for now as Violet can't make his way up, and he doesn't have another Overlord or anything to drop down, you know, anything inside of his opponent's base.
Violet is essentially containing his opponent. I mean, he's in such a great spot right now. You don't see this often in ZVP, but he's just going to kind of literally sit there and not let HerO take a third expansion.
Yeah, because even if HerO's able to clean this up, start moving down there, Violet, it's going to be a while before the creep disappears. Violet is going to have taken a couple of expansions by then.
I heard a Warp Prism going up, and nope, Stalker just blinked out. Never mind.
Yes, it did.
Oh, you know what? I had this weird sensation for a moment where the Stalker's blinking and the Warp Prism picking things up seemed to be the same sound to me, but I don't know. I guess they're a little bit different. They sound similar, though.
They are pretty close now that you mention it, though.
Yes.
And that Blink Stalker looks like it got shut down. I'm not sure by what, because it's not running around his opponent's base. Oh, actually, it looks like it just took control of the Selnaga Tower. Yep. Changelings are going to make their way up here in a second. Of course, those shenanigans are going to have a stop put to them. And Violet, he's trying to push his way up. Oh, there's one storm hits. It just wards the units away, though. Doesn't really do that much damage.
Well, if he can bait enough storms out on those roaches, he'll actually be in really good shape. The roaches can, you know, take some hits from storms.
Yes, they can, but here comes another big group of Zealots. Unfortunately, he's not gone after... Does he still have a Twilight Council around? Ooh, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on that. He is just going to try and blink and do a little bit of damage there, or bait some units into storms. Twilight Council still done? Yes.
Well, what he's doing is
lake speed.
He's actually distracting Violet to let his Zealots get in there, and they are now. Yeah. Nice little move by HerO here, but the roaches should be able to kite against this for a while anyway. All
right, a couple of Stalkers go down at the front. Looks like Burrow was finished. These Zealots really aren't proving to be all that great, but now they have Blink Stalkers behind them, and that's going to force... I don't know if it's going to force Violet back home or what. Oh, good! He eats a storm! Wow. That was exactly what HerO was looking for, and he's going to start pushing his way a little bit farther forward. Oh, and then the Force Field Storm combo. Bye-bye, Roaches. Now Archon's being formed in. HerO actually making his way out and starting to do some pretty good damage. Violet pushing ahead in supply, but HerO, he's making a pretty effective counterattack here.
No kidding. Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage, and Violet getting desperate. As we can see, going up the ramp, he's going to take some storms, and I think HerO's going to come back and win this game.
This is just crazy. So HerO is effectively fighting back against this. More Roaches are being put out. That's actually 15 more Roaches here in a second, but he has finally cleaned up the Nidus Worm. He can start to take another expansion in a bit. You know, Violet hasn't received a ton of mining off of this so far, so HerO not that far behind in expansions. There's a Warp Prism making its way out as well.
Yep, that's right. Looks like it's going to cross the paths of some of Violet's units, so those Overlords will let him know that it's going to happen maybe. Yep, he does see it.
Yeah, it looks like we'll see if HerO diverts his path or does something a little bit different. This Overseer trying to make its way down now in a second, but all right. HerO's got to wait for that creep to recede. Nothing he can do about that.
Yep, pretty much. You just got to kind of sit around. That's how it is.
Yep. Yes,
you know, you'd think that they would just be able to use like the Colossus lasers or something to just burn the creep off the ground.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, that's what I would do anyway.
It's so frustrating that watching that creep go back.
Not environmentally sound, I guess, though.
No, not at all.
No.
Oh, we have a High Templar inside of this Warp Prism as well. So we can see some storm action on those drones. Just a modicum of creep left is quickly going away. HerO will finally have himself a third base in a bit. And he's got quite a bit of minerals banked at the moment, and his first Colossus on the way, but Violet is almost maxed now.
Yep, Violet's still pretty far ahead on supply, but HerO has a great unit combination to go up against Violet's army. And he also does have that Warp Prism to do some harassment with, too. So yeah, Violet's still definitely not out of the game. I think we might see him try to take a quick fourth as well to just try to catch up. You need to take some risks at this point in the game.
Yeah.
But it looks like Violet might not give him time.
We'll find out now. HerO has to defend now. He's down by 50 supply. It looks like he is planning on taking another expansion. There, ooh, baiting out a couple of force fields. No real damage done. The sentries, well, that was actually the only sentry, so there's almost no energy left. But now that he has a couple of Colossi behind, things are looking a little bit different.
Yeah, no kidding. Infestation Pit on the way as well for Violet. Oh, looks like it's going to be a bit of a roach drop at the natural and a push at the front. What is this, a Terran player?
I don't know. It looks like it's containing and then that, but the storms are dealing so much damage. There's the Roaches, but already a bunch of Blink Stalkers sitting there. HerO with a little bit of good control should be able to clean that up. Uh-oh, the Colossi fall, though. The Colossi going down is very, very bad for HerO. The numbers for Violet are starting to thin out slowly but surely, though. With Warp Pins, it looks like HerO may have enough, but it's getting close.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, there's the burrow to restore some of the unit's health here. And Violet, you know, has just got such a durable army. He really was able to kill a lot more than I think HerO was expecting. But in the end, HerO does come out on top.
Yeah.
Forces Violet back. Still doesn't have a third base, though. So Violet still with a little bit of an economic lead at this point.
Yeah, that third base is now finished, so there we have it. Another Colossus joining the fray here very, very soon.
No fourth for Violet either.
No, it looks like he was more concerned about his roach production off of these 3 bases. He does have his infestation pit done now. There's Pathogen Glance just starting, and uh-oh, that Warp Prism starting to warp in some units. Zell going to make its way out now and immediately get destroyed. Not much you can do about that. The Warp Prism still continuing to take damage. HerO's going to need to move that out of there. But, you know, Violet said, okay, you gifted me a couple of units there. Here's a few roaches in trade.
It's like, I don't use those Warp Prism things anymore. You can have it. Yeah, Violet really should be thinking about taking a fourth. And I mean, it is difficult to do that against a a Protoss player like HerO, just because he will always be around the map with Zealots, like we can see there. You know, you can always make a Dark Shrine later on to warp in DTs as well.
Yeah.
But Violet really, really should start considering taking a fourth at this point. He's going to run low on resources in his bases very, very soon.
Yeah, he already is, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, he's down to mined out, basically, on his natural. And his main HerO is mined out of his main, has a few more resources on his natural, but, of course, has a fully functioning third, the same that Violet does. All right, now, so another big roach drop coming along the bottom left-hand corner. But this pro is actually patrolling back and forth for just such an eventuality.
But will it see it, though?
I don't think it will.
No, actually, he's going to put down the pylon, but he's not going to see the Overlords at all.
No, he is not. He's got... Ooh, wow, that photon cannon's pretty far away, and HerO's moving out on the map. Hopefully he didn't just use a warp-in cycle, otherwise this could cause a lot of damage.
Yep. We'll see if Violet remembers that he does have those Overlords there to drop with, too. That's kind of the other question. And, oh, no, I think he saw the Overlords. Did he see more than one?
He can see this right here, but that's about all.
All right, I think he just might want to kill the Rocks dudes so he can put down his fourth. We'll have to see.
Looks like it. We do have a Stargate on the way as well. Because it's been nothing but roaches. Oh, actually, now Neural Parasite hitting for Violet, as he does have a good number of infestors behind this as well.
Neural Parasite, that's awesome. I wonder if we're going to finally see some Neural Parasite at Colossi. Remember back when they were going to change it so you couldn't Neural Parasite massive units? That was going to be an annoying change to have to deal with.
Oh, yeah, especially whenever you get to that mothership stage as well. So, pretty good wall up at the front there for HerO, and he gets actually swinging around, picking off a couple of infestors there. Storms are actually perfect, but those roaches are very, very resilient to storms. However, the AoE from the Colossi proving to be just quite a bit. Violet lost a lot in that attack.
Well, yeah, he's having to focus on the Colossus so much that he's losing everything else here. And Liquid HerO, still the supply is very even for both of these guys just because of the slight economic advantage that Violet used to have.
And looks like Violet may be able to take out a Nexus here, but of course that was when HerO just finished up mining everything over at the natural, so it's not the worst thing in the world if that were to go down. It does die, and actually, all these Overlords going to go away? No, looks like one's going to fall, so 4 roaches lost. He did kill a Nexus, but of course one that wasn't mining.
Yep, you think the roaches would just kind of fall out the bottom of it when that happens, but I don't know. I suppose they were falling over a bottomless pit, sort of, so to speak, too. I mean,
and the height of these air units is always so deceiving to me. Actually, I think they're a lot higher than you think they are.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I mean, roaches can drop them. I mean, the Terrans can drop mules, right, from space, so I think a Marine can handle dropping out of a medevac. In fact, it can, too. So.
Well, evidently the mule can't handle it because it dies like 90 seconds later, so...
That's true. Maybe if they just landed the mules in, like, super safe jets instead of pods from space, the mules would last longer.
Come on, Terrans. Up your construction quality. We need to see it.
Yep.
All right. Well, 2 pretty long games so far in this set, and Blinks is going to pick off a good number of Overlords there. HerO's actually in a pretty good spot now. Oh, there's another drop, part 2 making its way in, and feedback does hit one unit there. Looks like an Infestor is being sent along with this. Finally, we have a Void Ray out, as HerO is going to be moving out across the map as well. This Archon will eventually fall, but that's going to give time for the Void Ray to charge up. Oh, but all detection is gone, and these roaches are going to prove to be a problem. But Violet had just decided to put up a 4th, and that's now going to be destroyed.
Yep, neither one of these players really having any luck taking a 4th base right now. You can see that HerO was thinking about doing it as well. He wasn't able to.
And he's going to go right after the robotics facility, try to stop that Colossus production. HerO still does have quite a few resources running down to the bottom left. Oh, there we go. Finally, some Blink Stalkers and a Void Ray. So all this will eventually get cleaned up. Looks like the upgrade's in favor of HerO as well.
Yep, Violet is not Mondragon, so Roaches against Void Rays are not going to really work as well this time as you would hope, I think.
That's true.
Yep.
They unfortunately can't shoot their slime in the air, so...
Yep, not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Soon.
yet. Heart of the Swarm.
Soon.
Just wait. So big Infestor Roach army for Empire.viOLet right now, and HerO. I wonder if he's going to keep making Void Raids later on in the game, or if he's just going to be kind of sitting on one. I think he was expecting that Broodlord transition again from Violet, but with just the economic drawbacks that Violet was having on being just kind of sitting on two bases like he was. HerO was like, well, I guess I don't need Void Rays after all, because you're not getting those Broodlords.
And, killing those Overlords proved to be pretty effective as well, as Violet is starting to stack resources and hasn't begun, even though he has 12 available larvae, has not started any Overlords.
Yep.
That's going to give HerO time to equalize and supply, and against this upgraded of a Protoss army, you do not want to be on equal supply.
Yeah, I mean, when HerO saw that Nidus Worm way back when, that really, really set Violet behind at that very instant, because even though, HerO hadn't done any actual damage to him, just the fact that he knows it's coming just shuts down Zerg so fast here. Violet looks like he's going to move in, but nice fungals. But again, the Storm's just doing a ton of damage here.
Yeah, HerO's been able to connect with every one of those Storms so far. Blink Stalker is going to finish off the rest of the units. The Colossi starting to rack up the kills. There's the GG.